Hello and welcome. My name is Sandra Carson. In this short class, which we're going to focus a lot on the pelvis, on the hips, on the breath, and opening energy there, please have a small bolster or a pillow or a cushion. You can also use a yoga block to sit on, and come to sitting on the heels. And just place your bolster or block under your sitting bones. And now you can take your knees a little bit wider apart so you have some more space in your hips. So the pelvis is this whole bony structure at the base of your spine. Your spine connects into your sacrum, which is part of your pelvis. And your hip joints are right here at the front. So we're going to be working to really kind of ground ourselves there and release some energy, because oftentimes when this area is tight, then our energy is really all the way up here in the body, and it's pretty difficult to then find a sense of relaxation or stillness or peace. So with this short class, we're going to see what we can do to bring that energy down so you can connect more to those qualities. Place your hands at the top of your pelvic crest, or this is often referred to as the hip bones. And just arch your back a little bit, so like you're doing a little back bend. And then you may feel that your pubic bone in the front will come down and your sitting bones will lift up a little bit. Then do the opposite and round your spine, and then you'll notice that your sitting bones come closer together and your pubic bone lifts up. So do this 2 more times. Now connect it to your breath as well. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round your spine. Inhale, arch. So it's quite a natural movement of together with the breath, as it is like this. Exhale, because on your exhalation you can also draw your belly in a little bit more. And inhale, lift back up. And now find a neutral position for your pelvis. One in which you basically feel lightness. There's no strain in your back. And you're not overarching your spine either. So there's a sense of lightness there. And then shift your weight back so you really feel your sitting bones into your prop, and close your eyes for a moment. And now we're going to work on really releasing some energy into the pelvis and letting the pelvis ground. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth and make a ha sound. So inhale. Relax your shoulders, your chest, and really allow your weight to come down. Inhale through the nose, exhale ha. And one more time. Inhale through your nose. And exhale out through your mouth. And then close your mouth and continue breathing through your nose. Just very relaxed and natural breath, so you don't have to make it extra deep or anything. And see if you can release even more weight into your pelvis and into your sitting bones and into the floor. So oftentimes merely by bringing our attention there, that's where our energy will go to as well. And just start to notice if you can feel your breath moving there. Your physical breath will only go into your lungs, but the energy of your breath can go all the way down deep into your pelvis. So just be curious And also if you don't feel anything there, that's also fine. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And just a little bit of practice too. So keep your attention there in your pelvis and into your sitting bones. And then slowly bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Lower your head down. Open your eyes and lift up your head. Release your hands. And now you can move your prop away and come to all fours. So in this position, there's a lot of movement possible in the pelvis. So just start to explore that a little bit in cat stretches. And again, we take the inhale to arch the spine and move the chest forward. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. So stay with this movement, with your own breath, and really try to just move the bones. So you don't have to use a lot of muscles to create this movement. Notice if you tend to pull up your stomach a lot as you round, and then you can just release that a little bit. I'll do this a few more times. Just a slow and relaxed breath. And then come to the center. Step your right hand towards your left on the mat and step your right foot forward. You may find it more pleasant if you turn your foot out a little bit. You can do that. Depends on where your knee is bending to. So make sure, bend your the right knee forward and make sure that it bends in line with your foot. If it comes in, then simply adjust your foot so it will stay in that direction as well. You can come onto the fingertips or keep your hands flat on the floor. But just now start to draw circles with your hips. And if your left knee is painful, then you can fold your mat. You can also place a little blanket underneath. But simply just moving the hip joints a little bit. The long hours of sitting that we have, in addition to the stress of everyday life and our work, often causes the hips to get tighter. And when that happens, the energy can't really flow anymore. Literally, the circulation goes down. And with that tension in the pelvis and in the hips, it becomes fairly difficult to relax. Come to the center and now come onto your fingertips and slowly walk your hands back so your right leg straightens, and you can even lift up your toes. Yeah? Make sure that your right knee has a little bend to it, and then inhale, spread your toes, the right toes, and just gently draw the right heel towards your right hip. So you draw down and towards, or your left leg. So you feel an engagement in the back side of your right leg. And just simply stay there for a few breaths. And then slowly bend your knee again and walk your hands forward. And now step your right knee back. And we do the left leg. So walk the hands over to the right. Step your left foot forward. You can turn it out somewhat. And then simply draw some circles. And start to increase the movement to help increase the flow of energy. And so as you bring more movement there, also the excess energy can flow out of that area. And then slowly come to the center and come onto the fingertips. Walk your your hands back and straighten your left leg. Again, make sure that you keep a micro bend in the left knee. Spread the toes on your inhalation and push your heel gently into the mat and try to draw it back towards you. And then feeling that little tug at the back of your leg. You should feel that all the way from the heel up to the buttock, actually up to your sitting bone or sits bone. And then simply stay there. Be present with your breath. And then slowly bend your front knee. Walk your hands flat and bring your left knee back. The one downward facing dog. So walk your knees behind you and curl the toes under. Lift up the hips and stretch back. Can walk the heels a few times and then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Step your feet about a hip distance apart, straight ahead. And place your hands on your hips. You can have the knees bent. Inhale and slowly rise up. Come to standing. I'm going to tuck my shirt in. And bring your weight into your heels. Now inhale and take your arms up. Exhale, touch the floor. So bend your knees again on the way down if you need to. And inhale, step your left leg back. So keep the back knee lifted off the floor. And next inhalation, bring your hands onto your front thigh, close to your hip, or close to your knee actually. And root down through the heel, the front heel. And use your exhalation to just let the body, let the hips sink down a little bit. Not too much. You don't want to be hanging in the hips, but just this sense of release. And then inhale and straighten your back leg. So firm the muscles there. You should feel that engagement. And then from your pelvis, from the center of your belly, stretch more through the heel. And stretch your right knee a little bit more forward. So now you're actively creating some stretch in the front of the hip. And breathe. And then again, exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg back. And place your hands on your front knee. So make sure that your knee is in line with the outer left heel. Ground down again. So again, find this sense of release. We're so ready always to jump into action. And it's a good practice to go into action from a place of relaxation. So relax your hips down. Then inhale and firm up the back leg muscles. And exhale from your belly, stretch through the back heel, the right heel, and stretch your left knee a little bit more forward. And you should definitely be feeling that stretch in the front of the right groin, the right hip, and just breathe there. And then exhale, slowly bring your hands down to the floor, step forward, lengthen your spine, and exhale, fold in. Then place your hands on your hips. inhale and slowly rise up to standing. Good. And release down. So another position where it is important to really release down before creating any muscular action is the balancing pose, tree pose. So take your feet to touch, soften your knees, and bring your weight into your heels. So that's the most stable point in your feet. So you want to stay there. And then slowly bring your left knee up. So the weight is in the right foot, the right leg. And take a moment to ground again, from your belly to release down into the floor. You can release the left leg as well. Then use your right hand to guide your left foot onto your thigh. And you want to bring it up high, but if this is not possible, if your foot tends to slide down, then just lower it down. Then place your hands again on the hip points here and make sure that they're pointing straight forward. The moment you start to take your knee out and you start to twist is when you start to get wobbly. So again, relax from the hips down. And then inhale, press your left foot into the right inner thigh. So you create a little bit of stability. And there's going to be some wavering, some moving around. So just allow that to happen. If you fight that too much, then you'll actually get more unstable. Please fold your hands or keep them alongside your body for balance. And soften your eyes. Then release the hands down, release your foot. You can shake it out. And then again, find this position where your toes are touching, weight in your heels, and then lift up the right knee. And again, release down, relax. And then guide your right foot onto the inner left thigh. And you can place your hands in Anjali Mudra. So the hip points again are facing forward. Press your right foot into the inner left thigh and keep a little resistance there. So there's a stability into the midline, into the core of your pose. Allow the wavering to happen. And relax into it. Keeping the weight in your heel. And breathe. And then slowly release the hands, release your foot. Bring it back down. And then you can shake it out a little bit. And for the next pose, please come to sitting on your mat and come to sitting in Dandasana. This is staff pose. So you want to roll your inner thighs down a little bit and widen your sitting bones so your pelvis can actually release. If your pelvis is tipping backwards, then all the muscles around here are going to be tightening to keep you upright, and you'll keep the tension alive in your pelvis. So if we want to release that tension, we want to tip the pelvis forward. If this is not happening for you with straight legs, then bend your knees. You can also place your hands behind you to the floor. Then take your left foot on the inner right thigh and open your left knee out to the side. Then place your hands either, if this is a big kind of opening already, especially the back side of the right leg, then you can stay here with the hands behind. If this is okay for you and you feel, I have some room to bend forward, then simply bend forward from the hips. So keeping the head lifted and feel the moment where the tension is coming into the hips. And just stay with that. So we can release tension in basically in every position, if we're not forcing ourselves, if we are willing to respect the boundary of our body, because it is right there that we can actually release. If we force ourselves too deeply, then we're basically creating more conflict in our bodies. So simply be with whatever's there, relax and release on every exhalation. Then inhale, slowly lift up, and we do the second side. Bend the right knee, take it out to the side. Place your hands either right next to your hips to the floor or in front. And spread the toes of the right foot. Twist your belly and your chest somewhat, and then bend forward. And again, feeling where that boundary is. Maybe you can go deeper, but is it really necessary if you just want to release some tension? So take a deep breath in and exhale. Allow your weight, your energy to move deeper into your pelvis and into the floor. And on your next inhalation, slowly lift up. And coming again to sitting on our prop. So taking the bolster and folding your feet right next to your hips, knees a little bit apart, and then again place your hands on your thighs and feeling that interaction of the rounding and the arching of the spine together with the position of the pelvis, and find that place in the center. And again, take 3 deep breaths into your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Just slow and natural and deep. And each smooth, long exhalation, allow your body's weight and all the energy to move into the pelvis, and from the pelvis move into your prop. Once more. And then close your mouth. And feel your body. So feel if you can make that connection again with the breath, with the energy of the breath going all the way down into the pelvis. And notice if it is maybe, hopefully, a little bit easier to connect with your inner stillness, your inner peace, your inner joy. And then please fold your hands together at the heart. Slowly bow your head down. Open your eyes and lift up your head. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in this short practice. If you'd like to follow more classes of me, but also of other wonderful teachers, You can find me at EkhartYoga.com. I hope to see you there. Namaste.